Wow.
But it is Connor Tate who's gotten the chips in first, Kenna.
And that is a very good point, Jesse May, because it's so hard to call with bottom pair when your opponent has moved all in. But he might feel like he's just got too many of his chips invested and he might have to take a stand. This is where it is key when you make a bet to know what you're going to do if your opponent should raise you or move all in. And that way you can bet the appropriate amount. He's already bet so much that it's going to be very difficult for him to lay this down. It looks like Connor Tate saying, it's okay, it's all right if you fold. I've got 9 high, but...
Yeah, I mean, the writing was on the wall.
What a great call by Chris Black if he should make this call. I'll take everything back about you being the Lion and the Wizard of Oz. Should you make this call? Dig deep down, Chris. Can he make the call?
I mean, what does he have to put Connor on to make this call? Overcards?
2 overcards or some type of a move. But even if he does put him on a 7 or an overpair, he's still drawing to a 3 or a 9. He's got to realize that the pot value is laying him the price to call. Will he figure it out?
You have 30 seconds to act.
Not only the pressure of his opponent, but the pressure of the clock is on him.
Yeah, tournament director Mad Marty Wilson has put the clock on Chris Black. His hand will be called dead if he does not act in the next 15 seconds.
And look at the players' faces, the intensity of the action.
And this is what poker's all about here, Kenna.
3, 2, 1.
That is why Connor Tate is a champion. Big pot, underdog. Tate gets his chips in first and wins it without having to see the Turner River.
The soft-spoken Connor Tate is quietly making his move, going about his business and playing like the true professional he is. Will he now take control of the table, or will Norman Walsh have something to say about it? Let's head back to the table.
Still cards to play here. Blinds 3 and 6 ball.
Filardi somehow has managed to keep his stack still above the starting pack of 100,000. He has 108,000. He definitely is the dark horse should the deck, you know, hit him in the face.
He could cash out now for 8% interest. And fortunately, you can't cash out in poker. And doesn't Norman Walsh know that? He's going to try and win them all here. A limp in. That's a bit of a change of gears, isn't it?
He is. He's gone from raising to calling. He has the King Jack, the King of James.
He's keeping the players off balance. Filardi, only 3,000 to call here with a dominated king, and he doesn't seem to know which way to go. Feels kind of like a call to me, KJ.
Yep, that's a good point. He did. I don't like calling with weak kings and weak aces because so often of the time you're dominated and you can win. You're either going to win a very small pot or lose a big one.
Big tip there. Small blind, no place for rag aces and kings?
Nope. Unless they're suited. You get the extra value of trying to make a, you know, a flush.
Now look at this. Top pair. Excuse me. It's a flush draw for Chris Black and Walsh representing top pair.
No, it's the flush draw for Chris Black, right?
Mm-hmm.
For Chris Black, Norman Walsh has a gut shot straight draw.
The bet is 14,000. Does Black need to make a move here, or could he just call?
Well, at some point he's got to create something. He's got to get some chips. So if he does decide to play this hand, the all-in move is the play. It's a semi-bluff. Obviously, you're not going to have the best hand with 3 high, but if your opponent should call, you can play the luck card and try and make the flush.
I mean, of course, the only thing he really is worried about is that Walsh might have an ace and call him. Is there any way he can work out that Walsh doesn't have an ace?
He should be able to, because remember, Walsh just limped in before the flop. He is going to raise.
Yeah, he's announced a raise, and I believe this is going to get through if it's big enough. This could be Chris Black, OTC, BTC, on the comeback trail.
OTC, BTC.
26,000 more.
Is that, what is that OTC, BTC?
On the comeback trail.
Did you write that song, RESPTC?
And if Walsh calls here, I believe he'll be in the lead. He's asked, he's not going to do it, is he?
It's RESPECT, isn't it?
Plus 26 here.
I don't know, you're the speller. He's raised him 26,000. I don't see Norman Walsh calling this. But then again, I'm not Norman Walsh.
26 money, is it?
26 more to call.
It's 26,000 more to call. And Walsh has just flat called.
Wow.
He's leaving. This is incredible. He's leaving Chris Black some chips.
Right.
And, I mean, is there any way that Walsh could take this away on the turn? Black's only got 3 high.
No, there's no way. And now, all of a sudden,
All in.
Chris Black
Call.
is in the lead
All in and a call.
with a pair of deuces, and he's going to love what he sees.
There's no way you could have convinced Chris Black that he was leading with the 2 deuces, but
No.
them's the nuts.
So far, but we have one card to come, and a king or a jack that is not a diamond will send Chris Black to the rail.
Yeah, king, a jack, or 10. Walsh with a 16% chance, but it's still a bit surprising the way this hand has gone down,
It
Kenneth.
certainly is very unorthodox the way this hand has been played by both players. As we go to the river, it is a 10 of diamond, making Walsh the straight, but Black bettering him with the flush is going to double up.
And I'm nearly gobsmacked. I mean, Chris Black would have won that pot on the flop against anybody in the world, but Walsh came calling, and as a result has gotten cut severely.
There's a little bit of pride in being an online player just because, especially being like a young online player, because that's the stereotype that everyone thinks like there's this young hotshot who thinks he's a professional poker player. He plays online like I'm sure he's going to be, you know, I can pick off all his tells so easily. And it's kind of, there's some pride in trying to prove that I am a real poker player. But I mean, I think the 200 grand is a lot more than pride right now.
It's possible that Walsh made a mistake on every street. He's played so well too, Norman Walsh, and now with 144,000, you wonder if he still has what it takes to get back in this game.
Well, I'm not sure if it's good play or good fortune that hit Norman Walsh up to that point. But
Pass.
we will see how it plays out.
Pass.
This table's gone very quiet. Everyone with their eyes over here on the 1 seat. And Walsh
Raise.
putting the screws to Connor
10,000 more.
Tate.
16 total.
And this is what should Connor do here? He knows that Norman Walsh is not a man to back down. He's decided just to call and peel off a flop.
I like that play by Connor Tate. You don't raise a guy who you know is going to call with nothing when your hand isn't, you know, a significant favorite.
Check. Check.
It's gone check, check. Walsh has slowed down, and so has Connor, who has now been allowed to hit top pair. And
Well, this is a again a
Called.
poorly played hand by Norman Walsh. He had the best hand, and he checked it, and now he has the worst hand, and he's
Check.
calling.
Two-so.
yeah, and at this stage, he could only beat a bluff. And you wonder what would happen if he moved in. He's checked it.
20,000.
And Connor's trying to get paid here.
Norman Walsh going to call him with ace high, it looks like.
Called. Gentlemen.
Well, Norman Walsh built a big stack, and